Hey there, Spy fans. Welcome back. We're just moments away from game number 2 here in the best of 3 series. TRIG Esports up 1-0 over Panthera, who struggled a little bit through that first game. Unconventional picks led to a very conventional loss.
Yeah, it's expected. Thanatos support has never been something we go, hey, that works.
Well, Thanatos has never been something that's, hey, it has worked. Sitting now at something probably about 5% win rate in the last 30 or 40 games he's been played in.
Weekend. And Weekend also won with him in Season 1 as well.
Yeah.
So he's like, Weekend's now 2 for like 7. Congrats, right? So I don't think Thanatos is going to be something. It seems like every time the meta shifts or something changes, everyone goes, oh yeah, Thanatos is good. Because that's our comfort pick.
Well, maybe we're just kind of seeing the fledgling attempts at putting him into compositions, and maybe that's the problem, is people can't find a good place to put him in the comp, although jungle seems pretty likely. But let's go to the picks and bans for game number 2. It's TRIG Esports versus the boys of Panthera, and this time around, Panthera is going to be the blue side of the map, TRIG's going to be the red side, and Panthera has that first pick, first ban position. With the 1-game disadvantage, they got to choose, and they chose first pick, and they banned out Famana right away. No thank you.
Yeah, no shocker. You don't want to deal with Zalia on a comfort pick as well. So getting rid of him, not bad. Shablanke is going to get out, which is the right call. So Panthera, you're not going to see him ban like an Athena or a Shablanke because that's a first pick option, right? Like they want Trig to be forced to ban that so they can get something overpowered, which is why you're seeing Hercules get banned out as well.
Yeah, Hercules gone. Shablanke gone for TRIG Esports. So Bruisers for the solo lane. Basically what they lost to last game, they're banning out, and they take out Shablanke. Outquong is removed by TRIG Esports. They don't want to fight against Panthera's Outquong. And now first pick goes to them. Will it be the Surcat? Surcat has been valued pretty highly in this matchup so far. She was banned last game. Cupid not valued quite so high, but wouldn't be surprised to see TRIG go ahead and draft that one for Funballer here.
Yeah,
but he's shown that he can play anything.
Athena would be a good one as well. Nemesis, very, very good as well. Nemesis, you're never going to complain about having a Nemesis on your team. Slice and Dice is the width of the map, and you have to try to miss with it, and it applies a slow. But the big thing is Divine Judgment shreds protection. It just steals protection, so that's always great.
Poseidon going to be matched with a Surcat. Obviously, she sets him up fairly well in the mid lane, early ganks, and another god to help that is Thor. But where does he go? Once again, Panthera. Looks like they'll be playing a support assassin. And maybe Surcat here.
It's not the first time we've seen this. Legion did it in NA, where they ran Bluestone Pendant Surcat and then put a Heartward Amulet on it. But if I'm a betting man, I would say it's a Thor support and a Surcat jungle. We've seen Thor support back in the day. Yes! Giannis.
All right, so Giannis is drafted. He's locked in. Nuwa banned out by TRIG Esports. The banning phase going back towards Panthera now. Who are they going to remove? Obviously, no support, in theory, selected from TRIG Esports yet. I suppose the Nemesis could support somehow, but highly unlikely. So my guess here is going to be the Athena or Geb ban, and there goes Geb. First pick out of the second banning phase goes to TRIG. And are they going to take the Athena here? Are they going to take something? Well, there is always Hades and Sobek, both who have excellent pairings with Cupid in the lane, but both of which are kind of quote-unquote more cheesy, fighting-based oriented comps. The Sobek pluck into the Heart Bomb from Cupid is something ridiculous, and the Hades ultimate on top of the big cripple from Cupid is also pretty guaranteed. But no, it's going to be a Sun Wukong. Granted, this could be their solo lane or it could be their support, a little bit of a swing pick from TRIG. They're going to put the pressure back on Panthera to round out their roster and then look to counter pick with the final pick. Oh my. I haven't seen him in a while. Hubwa.
It's not every day that we see the Hubwa. Now, Hubwa is a very, very strong solo laner. There's times where we see him go into the mid lane, but that's really only like SK, and that's solely because Captain Twig is God with Hubwa.
Well, it's because Captain Twig plays basically Joust every waking moment. He's not practicing scrims for Conquest.
And Hubwa goes in on Joust.
And Hubwa, Hubwa is your jouster, but it's Hubwa Rama. To round out the draft here. So 5 core yet again from Panthera. Once again, extremely greedy draft from them. Didn't work out so well in the game number 1. TRIG here, they can either go greedy with the Sun Wukong support, try to get extra damage out of it, or they can go with the True Guardian and really look to bully Panthera. The world is theirs. We may see something a little stylish come out here, and indeed it is going to be the Sobek, the god of the Nile, selected to pair in the lane with Cupid, and he's just, the pluck Sobek back into the Heart Bomb, into the Tail Whip is a tremendous amount of damage. It's incredibly dominant, and it's going to be really good against whatever Assassin plus Rom pairing that the boys of Panthera go with here. TRIG Esports could have once again taken this one away in the draft, but we'll see if Panthera's what appears to be their desired playstyle of assassin support will work out for them.
I wonder if we'll ever see a Sobek solo or a Sobek in the jungle ever again.
Jungle probably not. Solo, yeah. Especially from Zalia. Loves it.
I would love to see the Sobek solo.
Oh, solo Beck
It should work, especially since he got the buff in the offseason.
It works a lot like Athena, except for he's just less mobile. Poor guy.
And his lurking in the water is just him kind of just like hanging out for 3.5 seconds instead of global presence of Athena.
But yeah, you know, you may see the solo Sobek this game, Scott, as
it could be
as the Sun Wukong. We didn't even really mention that. I mean, we assumed that he's going to be going to the duo lane with the Cupid, but it could very well be Sun Wukong still. We'll see right now. It is Zalia on the Sobek in the solo lane. So solo Beck is going to be reality.
I'm happy.
Trix tank, Wukong, one of his favorite gods. And, well, that leads me to believe that the Trig, sitting on the right side of your map, I'm sorry, the right side of the scoreboard in UI, is going to be running a little bit of a stylish composition here. Some of their favorite gods. Zalia, big fan of Sobek. The Sun Wukong for Trix tank, another god pairing that's really, really popular.
Yeah, he also started off with Mark of the Vanguard as well to kind of deal with the damage that's going to be happening in the early game phase, which is going to help him a decent amount. As we go ahead and scroll down, that's going to be a Transcendence Rush coming out of Cupid, as that seems to be kind of – I'm a big fan of the Transcendence coming out on Cupid. I think it's definitely going to help him out, but I'm not sure. Cupid kind of benefits from, like, attack speed and stuff of that sort, not necessarily the – Transcendence.
Well, let's quickly go through the rosters here, Scott, as we are getting into game. The blue team fighting on the bottom side of the minimap and the left side of your spectator UI. They are Panthera. They're down 1-0 here. Emilito is going to be your Poseidon in the mid lane. Adapting in the jungle as Serket. Raffer will be your support Thor. Ninja Dimmy, the hunter in the duo lane with that Thor as Rom. And Optics will be Habwa in the solo lane. I'm sorry, in the support role. On the other side of the map, it's Zalia solo as the Sobek. Funballer is going to be your Cupid in the dual lane with Trix tank. It's going to be Lobster as Giannis in the mid lane, and that leaves Cubo Fred the jungle on Nemesis.
So the thought process behind Thor and Poseidon in the dual lane is one that you can kind of understand. It's like Tectonic Rift. You have a big burst damage, but Poseidon going into the duo lane isn't his best option. You shine with Poseidon due to early rotations and forcing out Aegis and abusing the fact that you have big burst damage, whereas I don't think you're going to get that bang for your buck in the duo lane.
Yeah, and Thor, you know, the physical blocking aspect of the wall, you know, factors in here. It's just kind of a question of can they set it up. Raffer didn't have a lot of success last game with the skill shots. Can he do a little bit better here with Thor? Also very, very bound by his ability to hit those Mjolnir's attunements.
Does Zalia even have any kind of kill potential? I haven't seen – I wasn't around for the days of the Sobek solo lane. I have no idea what to even expect, and that's actually Optics with Habwa in the mid.
Oh, yeah, Habwa is in the mid lane. Yeah, that call was not very accurate, but it's Rom versus Sobek. Sobek, well, he freezes the lane really well. It's similar to exactly what we were just talking about with the Athena in 2 games ago. Solid scaling on his abilities from levels. Does pretty well with XP gains. Can clear the wave well enough, creatively using Hand of the Gods, as you see Zalia has gone for. And shuts down healing fairly well as well. And we're expecting the Rom here with that Devourer's Gauntlet. He will be going some amount of lifesteal. So Sobek has a pretty decent matchup here. I mean, it's nothing is ever really going to be that favorable as the Sobek, though.
The big thing for Rom, a.k.a. Ninja Dimmy, going into the solo lane with Rom is the fact that he has a blue buff. He can spam those astral arrows all day, which gives him decent clear, as well as kind of gives him control of the lane, but it's going to be very hard, I guess, to deal with the tail whip and the pluck of Zalia.
Zalia's Sobek, I mean, he just can hit you with a lot of abilities. You get touched a lot is really what goes down. A lot of cones, a lot of big circles for Sobek, so it's pretty easy for him to just basically keep you even in terms of percentage of health with him, even though he's hitting you so much less because he's slow melee. That the rotational kills can work out really well, and it's pretty hard to push him out of lane with the healing out of Sickening Strike.
And he does have Hand of the Gods, so early on he could hand the back archers and then throw you into his archers and then benefit and possibly kill you early on as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a pretty tough
that sounds like a
situation.
nightmare.
And well, Optics here has done fairly well through the early game. No real pressure coming out from Fred yet. It's going to be a tough game for Optics, though. You got to feel it's so feast or famine for the Hebo, and already with a Poseidon on your side, it's going to be pretty hard for them to get this exactly right. They're going to try to fight this one out in the mid lane. Hebo, there is the crushing wave doing a lot of damage there. Adapting standing his ground, will pick up the kill. In comes Thor as well, but Lobster getting credit for the kill and the adapting as well, so it's a double kill at the end of the day for Lobster. I'm sorry, for the Circuit. And we have a DC on Emilito here. I assume a pause coming out, or maybe just a reconnect. Unfortunate for them right now.
They can't pause yet due to the fact that they're in combat. So there's going to be the pause coming out of Ninja Demi, as that was mildly unexpected. It's always weird to see like those disconnects happen at like the weirdest time, and it's always like when they die.
Yeah, yeah.
No one ever just disconnects randomly in a fight.
Well, yeah, he not having a lot of success there. Hopefully they caught that before he recalled back to base. If you are aware, Smite, the game actually prevents you from pausing if any of your players are in combat. So the Crushing Wave does net first blood in favor of TRIG Esports. No, I'm sorry, in favor of Panthera overall here. The kill actually a little bit difficult for them to secure. So TRIG getting credit for that one there. And the game is basically back to even now, even though Panthera does have a bit of an advantage.
Keep in mind, this is a best of 3 as well. So this isn't over for Panthera. Panthera is just backs against the wall. If they win this, they will have the #1 seed going into week 2 of the qualifiers for Europe, which is very, very important to have.
So double kill for the Hebo. I mean, it sets up their ability to play this early game pretty aggressively. It puts a little bit of pressure on a TRIG to try to gank his lane again, although it didn't go very well for them. Granted, they did get at least 1 kill on the Lobster. You know, he has his cooldown boots done, which is good for them as well. But you know, is it time yet to try to really shut this Hebo down? I feel like they need it, but the circuit counter initiation has been pretty good.
Well, Haba is going to shine for these mid-Harpies as opposed to where Giannis isn't going to. Giannis is going to shine from getting involved all around the map, which is why you're seeing him go with the full CDR.
Sure.
Whereas Haba is going to be like, oh, here's Crushing Wave, done. Everyone's dead.
Yeah,
Haba is known for having 3 ultimates, right?
Right. I mean, and even the Water Carpet, the Water Atlas, gives him some limited amount of mobility, but it's nothing compared to a Giannis.
No. He has some mobility, but, I mean, one portal covers that distance very easily. And plus, with Giannis, everyone has synergy on his team. He can go left lane, he can go right lane, he can just go to objectives. He makes everyone have a global presence.
Well, if we were wondering exactly how the Sobek was going to work out, we can see that he's gone for first item Dynasty Plate Helm. An item in some ways tailor-made for this god. Magical Power, Physical Protection, and Magical Pen all coming into play here. Pretty cost-efficient as well, able to get it very, very quickly. And now the work is on for the Rom here, being played by Ninja Demi. He's going to have his healing shut down by Seconding Strike and have a very hard time breaking through the protections of Sobek now.
He actually decided to go for stacking as well, so they really are investing a lot of time in just letting Ninja Demi get online in that solo lane, which might not be the case going against Aelia. Sobek can pluck it anytime.
Right, yeah. I mean, he has a great initiation opportunity pretty much at any point in this lane. But, yeah, I'm still confused by the Thor support pick here. I mean, is it simply that Raffer just is more comfortable playing gods that also jungle?
That's a very good question to raise. And
I mean, is it a comfort problem?
You might be accurate with it. But that wasn't the case that we saw in Community Showdown.
That's true. I mean, maybe he just likes to. They just like to play very greedy. I mean, oh well, clearly they do like to play very greedy, but I don't know.
Would have rather like to see a Ymir.
I mean, even Thor's, you know, like you can see there. Look, he does a lot of damage, and that's why you pick him as a support. But so does Ares.
So does Ymir.
And so does Ymir. Right? Exactly. I'm not sure exactly what the game plan is here, but it doesn't seem to have full TRIG. That's I guess the most important thing here.
The thing that scares me is the fact that Poseidon is in this duo lane, as opposed to someone like Uller, or even Rom. Stick Rom in there and let Poseidon go into the long lane.
Nemesis has been fairly quiet here. We did see the early attempt in the mid lane here that got the double kill on the side of Optics from the Nemesis, but she should have a pretty easy time blowing up the Thor support, right? I mean, if they can just catch him with an ultimate and any damage spells, he's going to go down really, really easily here. Not a high base HP pool on this god. As he's going to eat a Heart Bomb and the ultimate as well from Cupid, and it's going to go off. The Heart Bomb already exploded, though. As the Giannis ultimate comes through, they don't have enough to get this kill, and it was just off the mark for the Thor channel. He is going to port under tier 1 and go right back to base.
Giannis barely missed that. Lobster was half an inch away from eating that Thor for breakfast.
Yeah.
And they committed a lot on that as well, but luckily for him, it's going to be
gets
quick.
stunned out here. No Trick Snake off the mark with the cat form there. They may still be able to chase this one down. Crushing Wave coming out. Some damage reflected, but adapting is here, and that may be enough as Ninja Demi makes a rotation as well. Up into the sky goes the Sun Wukong. He does have that Circuit poison, so no healing in the cloud for him. Actually, nicely timed there to at least shut that down. Zalia thinks about rotating, but now makes his way back to the solo lane. Will soak up some additional farm. Poseidon being zoned out by Funballer's Cupid here. A Heart Bomb could be trouble if the cat form comes through, but the Kraken, I'm sorry, the Whirlpool for now going to shut down the option for animals.
Yeah, he blew that Kraken already before, so he doesn't really have that online. So he's just going to probably go back and go ahead and clear up that wave. I'm very interested to see when Hugo Fred gets involved. This is how it kind of feels to play Nemesis when you're not aggressive. Is you have no real impact until you have your boots online, and then you get ready to go into your next item, which looks like he's getting ready to do as well. It's probably going to be Ickable, so he can go ahead and box. So once Ickable is online, I'm expecting him to kind of have an impact on the game, but until then, I really don't see it.
Well, I mean, he got burned. His first attempt to, set something up, they got double killed by the Hebo. So Nemesis 0-1-1, having a little bit of a hard time getting it together in this game. Usually you see the Nemesis pick to explode your tank, and Thor is fairly hard to lock down, all things considered. It's only 3 kills in the first 9.5 minutes, though. Ponderously paced game. And once again, you got to think, if you're playing assassin support, you want kills early. You want to snowball with this lineup, and it's just not happening again for Panthera. Although they are ahead. I mean, they're ahead by a little under 1,000 gold, so it's looking okay for them, but it's just not. It's not.
It's
great.
not the lead
It's not the lead they want.
Exactly.
It's not the lead they need, maybe more appropriately.
The next big point of contention is going to be this Gold Fury, right? Everyone's kind of waiting to get one good pick, maybe around this next set of Harpies, which is going to be in like 3 minutes, so around the 12-minute mark, we might see the Gold Fury started up unless something drastic happens in the mid lane, but right now it's all very, very passive.
And there's how Sobek works.
He's just eating.
Max level Sickening Strike, max level Tail Whip, that'll do it. And, well, Trix Tank
great.
in a healthy amount of trouble here. Sun Wukong gets blown up by adapting. The ultimate comes through from Giannis, and it's a big amount of trouble. Beside his body blocked by adapting. Get out of the way! He's screaming. As Panthera lose one in exchange to the Sun Wukong, unfortunately for them, it's going to be their solo laner and Emily. I'm sorry, their ADC in this game in Emilito. So a high priority target going down, although he's struggling a lot. Adapting, Ninja Demi, Optics all ahead of him. That dual lane really lagging behind with level 8 and 11 between them.
He missed the blink right there, but he was able to finish off the kill there on Lobster, which is big, which is really, really big. Serket's just going to go and get some free farm in the left lane. So all things considered, you get Serket more and more involved, the better off this team's going to be. Serket gets to that level at around like 10 to 15 minutes where she just starts exploding people. Once Jotun's Wrath is done, that's when she starts hitting.
So Azalea, he's waddling forward on the Sobek. They have Nemesis in position. Ninja Demi does have the roll, and he sees the Nemesis coming in. The slow comes out, but he's not too worried about it. He continues to play forward. And those in-hands are starting to hurt quite a bit from the Rom. His Devour's Gauntlet's done. His Power Boot's done as well. And now he can do some decent damage to the tower as Azalea's going to go back, and Fred is going to hold this lane.
Yeah, Ninja Demi hasn't had too hard of a time. You can see that the dev gloves are getting stacked up, and he's doing everything that he can correctly. He's got his power boots. Next will probably be the Executioner, and he's not looking to engage at all on the Sobek. He's just looking to get beefy. And he's not going to get beefy by kills because he realizes he has no kill potential. So he's just going to sit there and try to control the farm as best he can.
Is this going to be a Rod of Tahuti first item for Hebo? I mean, Chronos Pendant's pretty good for this god.
It's a
cooldown reduction, though, you can only go so low, right? And his one's already on a 3-second cooldown. I mean, maybe it's first item Rod of Tahuti. It must be.
That's a bold play. I mean, a lot of gold invested into 1420 even after you get the level 2 of it. So as long as this team's aware of it, yeah, sure, why not?
Maybe it's going to be that early Tahuti rush, or maybe it still goes for the Chronos Pendant just for more crushing waves and more water spouts. But the water cannon, I mean, it's already on a 3-second cooldown. It's similar to kind of buying cooldown reduction on Nox. You don't strictly speaking need it.
Water hands?
Huh?
I like water hands.
Water hands? Yeah,
Wasn't
water
that
hands.
you who started that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, water hands is cool.
Whoa.
Whoa!
All right. They're just going to crack the Gold Fury away there. A little bit like when you play an Ymir, you know, and you go for those early Gold Furies. Just dropping the ultimate.
The Ymir feels a little bit different because you sit there and you charge it up, and then all of a sudden you see him, and then you just quickly explode it. Beads forced out as well. Magic Cudgel's
yeah, here it comes. Cupid, 2, 3. But off the mark just a little bit there is Funballer. He's used the Heart Bomb into adapting, but now he's stuck in that Whirlpool, taking a lot of damage. There's the poison as well, but here's Thor. Doesn't matter. Funballer goes down to adapting's poisons, and then the subsequent in hand that proc the 20% or 30% damage there. So if you don't know, that's how Serket works. If you hit with all of her abilities and then in hand someone, it takes 30% of their HP away. And that's really the hidden strength of this god. If you're wondering why she's not so good when you play her versus when a professional player plays her, that's likely it. Here comes Sobek. The first attempt from Zalea off the mark.
He needed it.
A knockout for his trouble, and now probably waddle back, lonely to his solo lane and not attempt to
all right, guys, I'm
sick
back.
prey again for another 13 minutes.
And notice how Ninja Demi said, I'm not following that rotation. I'm going to stay in this lane. And this is what he needs to do. He's got Ikubo up, and he's going to just continue to get beefier and beefier as he goes. And then eventually what's going to happen is there's going to be a big fight right around the Gold Fury. Ninja Demi is going to rotate, and his in-hands are just going to shred through TRIG Esports.
Well, either Panthera is far enough ahead that just a little bit of control that Thor brings to the table doesn't matter. They don't need the frontliner. They don't need the tank. They just explode everybody. Or TRIG Esports survives the initial onslaught with their what is setting up to be just absurdly tanky Sobek and turn the fight pretty easily. And Sobek, well, in terms of control, he's at the top of that list as well. If he can control Thor in the fights and not let him get those big walls down, it could go very quickly Trig's way. So you're right. It's a very volatile powder keg here. The Gold Fury is going to be the next engagement, but she's not going to be up for about 3 minutes. So it's all down to lane dynamics and pressure here. Ninja Demi making the big plays on the Lobster.
Unstable.
Yikes, Lobster.
Lobster really needed to hit that unstable vortex right there. Very, very badly. That's almost routine in the sense that he was right in his face. Unstable vortex hits that. If someone's right in your face, you can just press 2 and it's hitting them.
You know, it's an interesting game, right? Insofar as that Panthera has this 5 core with, Poseidon and Thor, but on the side of Trig is really where we're saying they're picking more of the stylish picks here, right? I mean, this is Panthera's strategy. For Trig, they're going to put in Sun Wukong and Sobek because I think the players favor those gods. Panthera is seeming to play a little bit more to win even with the picks here.
Yeah.
It's surprising considering the compositions.
The Thor's interesting as well, just because we haven't seen him get involved in all of these team fights. I feel much different about Sun Wukong. I feel like Trix Tank has been around the map, whereas Thor hasn't been. But that could just because that I'm used to Thor being in the jungle, right? Like I'm used to seeing that icon be everywhere.
So first item Tahuti for Poseidon. Looks like it's also going to be first item Tahuti for Kibo. They're going for all of the damage and basically a hyper late game strategy, which makes sense with all of their carries.
I just wonder if that's going to come back to haunt them. That's the question, right? Like, are they going to get everything out of this Rada Tahuti?
It's a 3,000 gold investment. No real penetration. No Spear of the Magus being picked up yet either. So neither of them really going to be. They're going to be pretty susceptible to magic protections. On the side of Trig, however, no real magical protection items are out. Sobek itemizing very heavily for physical. And Giannis the only one that's going to be very good against the burst, but his Warlock Sash not yet stacked. So there's definitely a window here where they hurt quite a bit, and there's not too much that Trig can do about it.
I would be very, very shocked if we see Trig engage anytime soon. This is the point where Panthera goes, all right, guys, let's try to force every fight we can.
Yeah, 5-man
and
and force
Trig
it.
goes, no.
Yeah, Trig should just dodge the fights here and continue to farm up. The Sobek has now rotated over to the long lane. They've put Cupid in the short for the moment, at least. As Panthera, you mentioned, continues trying to force fights around the map. They're going to pressure mid, but someone called Giannis should be able to clear this out fairly effectively.
Yeah, they got the Tectonic Rift blasting him in there. Here comes a Kraken. Kraken's going to barely miss. And now that's just going to be the Wukong animation as he goes up into the clouds and heals up. And now the chase is on.
Sobek's rotated over. A pluck could be fairly decent for them here, but mostly they just stalled out Panthera. But look how much damage Panthera did to that tower with only a couple seconds to beat on it. Really, really quickly there. The damage output is significant out of Panthera. But Trig, the much more traditional comp, can they control the fight? If they control the fight and take the Gold Fury, they win the game, I think. But if Panthera on the other side, they can start their really, really serious snowball now. Their Hebo still sitting at 3-0, 2-1 for Serket. They have some excellent, excellent damage-based gods. This one is really tight and really, really scary as Panthera is up by a few thousand gold.
Yeah, and there was no wards there as well, so Trig doesn't have the information that they went back. If they did, you would be seeing them hop on Gold Fury with the quickness, but since no vision, they don't have that knowledge.
Yeah, nice counter warding by Panthera so far. Oh, man. It's, I mean, normally, with these gods in the game, you would say an advantage at this stage of the game is exceptionally good for Panthera. And, of course, it is. They've secured a pretty nice gold lead for themselves, and they are a snowball-oriented lineup, but I don't feel like they've really got maybe the mental aspect of keeping Trig down yet. They haven't won a big team fight. They've shown signs of being able to be picked off. If you're Trig, you're saying, well, the only reason Hebo has farm is because he got a lucky double kill in the mid lane. We were out of position. And if we just play safely, we're going to win this game. So I think this one's still really up in the air.
Have you noticed the lane swaps as well? Giannis now has taken over the solo lane. You see Sobek going into the long lane, and now Cupid's in the mid lane. So they're going, well, Sobek needs to be there to contest the Gold Fury, so we're going to stick him in the long lane. And then Giannis can get over there anyways where he belongs.
Here's the Sobek coming in. Look at the Rom Ninja Dimmy just hitting so many shots there in Zayli, but he's doing a nice job of maintaining a front line at least. Hasn't fallen back yet. The ultimate from the Thor off the mark, and now it's a big Cupid ultimate to zone out the rest of the team. In the back line, adapting does find Cuvo. Fred, Rom's taking the sky. Where are the shots, buddy? Let him go. 1, 2, 3 on a trick snake. 2 of them hit, but he's going to take to the clouds. Let's check in on the backside of the fight where it's Lobster and Cupid pushing forward again. Sobek has pushed out. Cuvo, Fred down so far, adapting and Rapper down as well. The assassin damage gone from Panthera, and only their jungler gone on the side of TRIG Esports.
Wow.
Another kill not
Beautiful.
picked up just yet as Trix moves away. And that's going to be the end of the engagement.
Portal.
No one takes the Gold Fury, and Trig comes out ahead there. It's a 2-for-1.
Yeah, Trig comes out ahead in the sense that no one died, and they were way out itemized right now. The Ratatouille did not make nearly big enough impact as it needed to. They needed to win that fight front and back.
Well, the second Ratatouille finish, the Deathbringer finish for Serket as well. It's a rush to the late game. It's a rush to 6 items for Panthera. Will they make it? Thor continuing down the damage path. He is a Jotuns as well. No tanky presence for them. And they don't seem to mind at all. The game's still holding pretty tight. Granted, Trig got the better of that last fight, but not by enough to swing this one back in their advantage. Panthera is still holding the lead. Items, levels, pretty much in every category you could want it, except for a tanky presence. Trick Stank and Zalia, I mean, it hasn't played into it so much this fight. You saw in the last fight, Zalia looking to zone, but he got blown up pretty quickly by the Rom. What's the answer for Trig? Can Panthera
Zalia
snowball this
also
one?
went on a complete wrong rotation. He kind of cut down and went ahead of their purple instead of kind of going around and helping out his team. But in the same sense, he was really looking to just stop them from doing Gold Fury, which mission accomplished.
Right, yeah, they stopped the Gold Fury, but you got to be a little bit worried as Zalia on that Sobek and just how quickly you went down to just Ninja Dimmy, considering that you've itemized basically only for physical protection. You still got shredded by the Rom. And your real advantage here is holding a front line. They're damage starved by a lot compared to Panthera. As Gold Fury is going to start up again, counter wards at least coming through, and now warding into another counter ward there as the counter ward game. TRIG Esports, for the moment, is behind in vision as Panthera holds the ward at the Gold Fury.
The counter ward game is really, really important. Not only is it a big mind game, but it also gives you more knowledge than the enemy team has. And you're seeing another one go down. That's a big one. Right there, that's where the majority of ganks will come from in the mid lane. And so throwing a sentry ward down there is not only guaranteeing taking out the ward, but it's also giving you a huge advantage.
Ninja Dimmy can pretty much sneeze on that tower. It goes down, so they net themselves 500 gold for the tier 1 in the mid. Do Panthera, pulling ahead ever so slightly more now. However, it looks like on the right side, Trig is going to get a counter push on the tier 1 from, of all people, Giannis over here. I guess it does make sense as he can use through space and time to rotate quickly this Gold Fury fight. It looks like that's about to pop up. They want to trade the tier 1 for the Gold Fury here. Does Panthera. They're doing quite a bit of damage to Gold Fury, 60% now. Where is the initiation from Trig? Are they going to make it time? No, they're not. Gold Fury to Panthera. Without contest, they trade the tier 1 for it. Not a good trade.
They're up by 3 kills, but, I mean, they're up by 4,000 gold and climbing, as well as 4,000 experience and climbing. That's a really, really substantial lead for Panthera. They need to continue to grow.
Sir, how do you make it out of this one, buddy? There's the taunts coming through, and you channel your ultimate because you're Giannis. And away he goes.
Giannis is the best. I still feel kind of that Giannis belongs in the solo lane more than the mid lane.
Yeah, you said that earlier in the cast. Care to elaborate?
The main reason why is when you look at the mid lane here, he's not doing as much guaranteed damage with his ultimate as you're going to see across the way there. Optics has guaranteed damage with the crushing wave, whereas through space and time isn't going to hurt you that hard, especially early on. So the securing of the mid harpies is way more important for a mid laner than it is a solo laner. So by throwing Giannis in the solo lane, you have the mobility to go and contest the mid harpies, but you're not relying on your ultimate to do the damage. You're relying on it more to just get you there.
Okay, all right. I'm behind it. Sound logic, Scott.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does of course have the wave clear for mid lane though,
for sure.
which is why
he does.
And
he's my favorite guy.
He can pressure both sides of the map as well from the mid lane versus really just holding down the solo. But I think it's definitely a good case for Giannis in the solo lane.
Don't get me wrong, I love Giannis in any lane. Yeah, Giannis is my favorite god right now, just because of Jandroid.
Jandroid, yeah.
It's the best.
Well, progressing very, very deep into the build now is Circuit. Level 19, Titan's Bane nearly online on top of the Deathbringer, Jotun's Wrath. She's getting to where adapting is getting very, very scary here. And I still am worried for Panthera, though. Even though they're ahead and even though they have this damage-oriented lineup and it's working, they're snowballing. TRIG Esports can take the game with winning one fight, I think, at the right time, where Panthera is going to need to win several, just because they don't have that. Just don't have great tower pressure. It's really only Ninja Demi. Granted, that's quite a bit, but they don't have a tank to go backdoor when it comes to winning a fight. So that's going to make it hard for them to take Phoenix, especially multiple Phoenixes. Where on the other side, TRIG Esports, they can just pass between Trix and Zalia, and Funballer is going to be hitting quite hard as well by that point. So even though the experience is here, and even though the gold is in favor of Panthera, they're going to still have to play pretty consistently through the next about 10-15 minutes to win this game.
We'll see. We'll see. The blink comes out. Oh, he missed the water spout by just a little bit there. Optics is very, very hyper-aggressive on this. If he would have caught that guy right in the middle of the whirlpool, you would have seen a Kraken come out.
Mm-hmm.
He would have went for all the bursts and all the things. And Raffer feels really at home at Thor just because he used to be a jungler.
Right. Well, looking to spread the map and push here is Panthera. Thor on the right side, one on the left side. It's Sobek once again finding the ROM. And well, if you're Ninja Dim, you're probably just like, God, just get me away from this damn crocodile. I went over to this lane. He's still here. But the tower taking a lot of damage. And Sobek's clear has really started to fall off without going damage items. There's a Void Stone that's come out from him, 5th. Raffer just trying to clear anything he can, sneak any bit of experience. Level 14 now for him, keeping pace with the Sun Wukong if nothing else. The Tier 2 taking a bit of pressure, but it's just a Poseidon and a Circuit. They don't really have Ninja Dimi here to do the damage, so it's not going to fall too fast, but it doesn't look like TRIG's going to make a big attempt to keep them away from it. Raffer.
This could be.
Oh, Raffer's going to go down before
Weird.
he takes the tower, so he decided to sacrifice his life for the Tier 2, but no dice.
Yeah. To be fair, it is one hit away. And anyone can kind of go up there and auto-attack it twice, and they will be able to take the tower. But that's kind of odd. That was almost like, oh, yeah, Trig, just come on back in. Here's a free kill. Here's the bounty. And actually, that's the support down as well, so they don't have hand 3. It looks like they're going for the
That's right.
giant.
Here, yeah, another big danger of running that support, right, is that Thor support. He goes down quick, and if he goes down quick, it leaves you open unless you have another Hog 3 on the team, and they do not.
Crushing Wave!
Crushing Wave on top of the puddles of lava. Adapting does kill Lobster. Trig does take the Fire Giant. Nonetheless, Trig's tank still keeping his cool through that fight, and here comes Cuvo. Fred, one shot going to take out Optics. Another going to be there for the Poseidon, but that one goes to the credit of Zalia. It's just Ninja Demi. The front line, though, is too powerful. He's going to take to the sky. It's Adapting. Can Adapting find the kills? He's leaping away. The shot's going to be through from Rom. No, not enough. And there's the pluck of Zalia, the second kill, and a double kill for the Crocodile Thor. Oh, no, you're only level 14, buddy. He's going to go for it anyway. It's a Raffer. Damage coming through on Zalia. Thunlock. There comes a spin to win. The Heart Bomb's here as well, though. No! Dashing away, and the Heart Bomb is still on time. He mistimes the Aegis, and down he goes. Funball with a kill on a Raffer. Throwing it away there.
That is a huge play. And that was probably the best feeling in the world for the Sobek, who's been dealing with Ninja Dimi with no real kill potential until a team fight where he's like, yes, that's right, Rom. Crocodile come out on top. That's huge. This is the winds of change, Bart. This is going to be a big siege.
I don't know if it's the wind of change, man. I mean, it's like, oh, wow, that ultimate was just so fast. Like, Fred was like, I see you coming. You're not killing me now. I'm going to split push this. But, like, the consistent kind of front tanky meta the TRIG Esports has kind of kept up with Panthera. They're trying to force something new here, and it's not working for them, at least against TRIG so far.
They aren't the only team who's trying this no traditional support meta as well. I mean, we've seen it in NA, especially Legion. Legion raid Circuit support. Like, is Thor support any worse? No,
now, okay,
better.
I love assassin supports for style, right? If you're up a game and you're like, let's style on them, let's get in their heads, pick Thor support. As your go-to strategy, I think it's just too counterable, right? If you know, if like that's what you're gonna go for, like you just kind of, okay, well we're gonna take Sobek and solo lane it, right? And then he's gonna be unkillable, and we're gonna siege you, right? The only thing they don't have here is the Ra. Right? If you get a Ra on the side of Trig, like Panthera is done for. Like just like we saw last game, they have to dive in these fights and just can't get enough damage.
Can't do it. I think Lotus Crown's gonna pretty much change the assassin support. You have a assassin support going into a Sylvanas with a Lotus Crown. What kill potential do you have? You have none. It just puts you in a worse spot, if anything.
And this is just where it starts to fall apart as well. This stage in the game is where it gets harder and harder to play that assassin support, where the Fire Giant, it's all about the Fire Giant gambit. And the thing is, though, is that Panthera got through the early game with a lead, rushing 2 Ratatouilles and a Deathbringer. I don't know how much better they can do with this composition. obviously they can get 11 kills in the duo lane, in the first 10 minutes, but like they got through the early game ahead with rush damage items, and it's not working out now when really it should. And the lineup also doesn't have that much push considering how early they need to win.
Yeah. Poseidon just waiting. You can see that they have to kind of be very passive, and they have to rely on a Kraken hitting perfectly, and Ninja Dimmy taking to the skies, as well as just hitting all 3 astral arrows, which is possibility. Cirquette's going to find an angry alligator here, as she's just going to completely outplay Zaylia, keeping her alive.
Oh, that ultimate through space and time doing about half of the damage to Ninja Dimmy there, and now Zaylia is charging to the front line, and he has a hide of the Nemean Lion starting to return that damage back towards the team, and he is perfectly happy to stay in the front line. As you can see how much damage Poseidon's taking. He dies to the damage reflect.
That's huge. Wukong getting one as well. You can see the crit coming out from Ninja Dimmy, but it's not enough to stop this push. Their eyes have turned to the middle Phoenix part. They have Thor right in front.
This is the big difference between the lineups, as we mentioned, right? They can just go tank up this Phoenix, take 2, continue fighting. What are you going to do about it? And on the other side, even if Panthera wins the fights, all they have is a Thor to take the towers. And you can see even Fred is going to be doing a better job of that than the support assassin right now. Retribution shield is there. Damage coming out, but it's not enough just yet. Fields of Love from the Cuban are here, and they're going to take out Adapting, the last real threat on the board. It's just Raffer, and Raffer's going to follow. Miona's a 2-minute away. He gets cleaned up. No, yes, he does. Funballer with the last shot, and this is going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. TRIG Esports is going to win in 2 games, the best of 3. Week 1 goes to the side of TRIG, the boys in blue.
That was 24 minutes of Panthera having a slight lead and trying to abuse it. I think we saw it go up as much as 4,000 XP and 4,000 gold. And then everything just slowly starting to get ripped away from them just by the traditional meta. Yeah. I mean, sure, Zaylia bringing Sobek in the solo lane isn't exactly traditional, but still
no, but a bruiser there is.
Yeah, it's a bruiser.
And it wasn't like the damage output that he was doing was something they had to accommodate for. It was more just how tanky he got.
Yeah.
That was the problem. Like we expected it to be. And well, yeah, TRIG, as we said there, even with the advantage, it was really anyone's game at any point there. Yeah. The Fire Giant going their way, and then that was pretty much all she wrote. But that does conclude our broadcast for today, ladies and gentlemen. That is our broadcast conclusion for the week as well. We'll be back with week number 2 of the qualifiers in a 3-week process to determine which teams join us in the Pro League with the already qualified out of Europe, SK Gaming, as well as Titan. This process continues next week. Same time, same place, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard, right here on the Smite Game channel, Saturday and Sunday. For Scott and all the production boys, that's going to do it for us, guys. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy the rest of your Sunday.